we are going to talk about Monash engineering, and this essentially gives you a view of the Woodside building that I'm sitting in, and this is one of the important buildings that engineering uses. So we're going to give you some introduction using this as a premise now. Okay. We have world-class facilities, and some of the world-class teaching facilities are in the Woodside building. But we also have some very good laboratory facilities. And we have a lot of opportunities where we connect you to the industry that will increase your employability opportunities. So we will talk a little bit about that as well. And we will also give you some ideas about the master courses that we offer at Monash Engineering. And we will talk a bit about the student outcomes or the employment prospects, how all of this fits together in that framework. So first point is about the facilities. I talked about the teaching and learning facilities that are available specifically in the Woodside building, but other buildings also have some of them, but the ones in Woodside are world-class, but these are about some of the laboratory facilities. So first one, we will talk about this is about the pilot process lab, which is used predominantly by chemical and biological engineering students, but some of the units in the masters relate to that one. The next one is about the smart manufacturing lab. This is used predominantly by mechanical students. And the next one is about the robotics lab that is used, that can be used by mechatronics students, but also the electronic and electric students as well. So overall, we give you a snapshot of some of the labs we have. We don't talk about all of them, but this gives you some idea about some of the world-class facilities that we have at Monash Engineering. We talked about connection to the industry, and we do that through research, consultancy, and internships. And some of the companies we connect with are given in the background there. I think that's probably the next slide. Yes, this is the Amazon Prime, Deloitte, Honeywell, Rio Tinto, Tesla, the Mitsubishi. These give you some of the ideas. And of course, I talked about the Woodside, and that is sitting there as well. So Woodside company itself also has a lot of research collaborations with Monash. So this gives us a lot of insights and strengths to connect you with the industry. On the other hand, when the students undertake work with these industries, they come up with ideas on to develop their own company. And that is what happens with the Monash generator. So this slide shows you that what happened with one of the Monash startups. So in this case, this is the Cythologist. That is a startup that is using non-brewing and chemical engineering to craft creating new brews. It is not just about the brews on campus, but it is also about educating how we engage with the industry partners through consulting. And this is one of the examples of that. And as we said, this Monash generator provides the opportunities for students to develop this. On top of that, we have some real-world experiences coming through different avenues. I'm talking about only the ones that are available from the master space. So in this case, we have work-integrated learning. So for this, you will be placed in a company and you will be working for a short period. But the idea is that within that short period, you work for a targeted, with some targeted outcomes. And then at the end, you will be reflecting on that, on how it helps with your professional practice perspective. But you'll also have a unit on professional practice to learn about that first, and then go and apply that in this work-integrated learning context. The next two opportunities Global Innovation Guarantee, Monash University has multiple campuses. So in this case, students could go to another campus and also this Clayton campus. And in this case, they will understand some of the needs of the communities in these two campuses, I mean, near these campuses, and find out ways to address their problems that the communities face around that. And it looks at the human impact and the environmental impact of the projects, and finally provides help to these communities in some shape or form. So that is built into the postgraduate platform as well. So this Global Innovation Guarantee helps you with that experience. Monash Innovation Guarantee is more or less like a hackathon kind of idea, but it's a bit more extended. So in this case, students will go to specific industry partners, leading partners, and understand what problems they face, and they come up with ideas on how to solve these problems. They pitch these ideas to these industry personnel, and then based on that, it goes like a competition. So multiple of them come up with these ideas, and at the end of the day, they say this is how we can solve, and that will get some funding for them to proceed further, depending on the top level ideas. But as I said, we have the Monash guarantee, so Monash generator facility as well. If we believe that idea cannot go through those avenues, there are other avenues we can look into to develop those ideas. So this is one of the part of this Monash Innovation Guarantee. Previously, this Global Innovation Guarantee and Monash Innovation Guarantee were offered only for undergraduate students. Now, also the postgraduate students can take them moving forward. So that gives you some idea. And obviously, the postgraduate version is a little bit more extensive compared to the undergraduate version. So that is the option that you have. The next part is that from the perspective, obviously, we are ranked #1 in Australia from among the engineering faculties. And also we are ranked globally 54. So that gives you an idea on where we are, because, obviously these rankings sort of change, go up and down a bit, but the idea here is that gives you some perspective on where Monash is placed overall within Australia. So when you choose, you can choose different kind of courses depending on whether you want to take only coursework, or you want to combine coursework and research, or you want to completely go into research through our higher degree by research opportunities. And in these master courses, mainly any of the courseworks that you do, they include a variety of areas, including AI and data analysis, project management, as well as professional engineering practice-related unit. I said this professional engineering practice unit is compulsory for all of the master units. So, and I also talked about the will unit where you apply the skills. So this is one of the unit that's part of all of the masters. So through these courses, you learn how to think critically, and you hone your scientific communication and also undertake research. You can choose from a range of specializations and also electives to shape your degree for your future. And as I mentioned already, work-integrated learning provides you that opportunity to get connection with the industry and also proceed with your future employment through these opportunities. So these are the master course options that we have. So in this case, we have a 1-year version that is Master of Engineering. This is for students who want to, typically they do a 4-year Bachelor of Engineering degree with honors, and if they want to top up with a 1-year master's to have some additional edge for employment, this option can be used. Another specific master's that we have is that Master of Transport and Mobility Planning. This one is also a top-up master qualification if you want to specifically go in this transport area. Otherwise, we have a 2-year version, which is Master of Advanced Engineering. And in this case, this is for students who want to enhance their skills, both from an industry and research point of view. And this is something I'll explain a little bit later. So that goes into somewhat in-depth into the masters. So that is the 2-year version that we have. Next one is Master of Professional Engineering. And this one is for students coming from a different background, not necessarily from an engineering background, but let's say if you're a mechanical engineer, you want to switch to electrical engineering for some reason, or robotics engineering for some reason. They could look into that. Or students coming from a science background, they want to become engineers, they could look into that. For those with an engineering background, typically they would have to do about 2 years extra to switch. But if they're coming from a science background, for example, they need a little bit more knowledge, so they have to go do the 3-year version of the Master of Professional Engineering. And that one is accredited by Engineers Australia. So that is an accredited course. Of course, the other option is this high degree by research. Either you go through the master's version or all the way to the PhD version. So depending on what you choose, it will vary from 2 to 4 years. So just to give a quick understanding here, Master of Engineering, the 1-year version, as I said, this one has different specializations that appear there. So chemical, biological, civil, electrical, engineering, management, materials, mechanical, renewable energy, and smart manufacturing. So these are some of the areas that you can do your work in. So if you want to go into sort of a generalized kind of Master of Engineering, you could probably choose like engineering management, for example. But if you want to go into some specialized areas, some of the other areas are mentioned, and that will give you that additional edge in that area to get employment.
Professor Raj, could I jump in, please?
Yeah.
And ask Pranil a question. Pranil, this is the program that you're studying at the moment, having come from a bachelor. What did you do in your Bachelor of Engineering, please?
Yep. So I did my Bachelor's of Engineering at Monash as well. Yep. So I did the honours program for mechatronics and robotics engineering.
Okay, great. And what have you chosen now to study at the Master of Engineering level?
Yeah. So linking onto that, I sort of was looking for the closest one that would relate to the robotics background I had, and to try and build on top of that.
Yep.
And so smart manufacturing seemed like a great direction in that terms.
Good one. And how far into your master are you now? How many years?
Yeah, so almost done. So it's the 1-year master, so I'm finishing off towards the end of this year.
Oh, okay. So you've spent this year doing the units.
Yeah.
Okay, great. How's it been going for you?
No, it's been a great experience. There's been a whole new range of sort of courses that I've got to experience.
Yeah.
Both sort of professional perspective, risk management, sort of communication, that side of things, as well as like additional technical knowledge as well.
Yeah, okay. So you feel that it's elevated your knowledge from the bachelor program?
Definitely.
Yeah, good stuff. Good on you. Thanks, Pranil. We'll come back to
No
you.
problem.
Okay. Hand it back to Raj. Thanks, Raj.
Okay. So the next course we are going to talk about is Master of Advanced Engineering. As I mentioned, this is a 2-year course. Typically, to enter this, you don't have to have a 4-year engineering degree. You could probably have a 3-year engineering degree, from some other areas. But also, even if you have a 4-year one, if you want to have an in-depth kind of knowledge, you can get into that. As I mentioned earlier, this could come from a research or industry perspective. So there are sort of 2 different streams. So you can choose whichever stream you want to go into this 2-year version. And that is offered in multiple specializations, as shown here. This is bioresource, medical engineering, power systems, renewable energy, robotics construction, robotics, smart manufacturing, telecommunication, and urban systems. All of this engineering are available. When it comes to engineering management, we don't have the 2-year version yet this year, but from next year onwards, we plan to introduce that. So that's going to be that broader version. What we found out was that people are interested in a 2-year version of engineering management, not just a 1-year version. So that is why we are introducing that with that in-depth kind of knowledge. The next course that we talk about is Master of Professional Engineering. As I mentioned, depending on the background students come from, it can be completed either in 2 years or 3 years. And once again, this is accredited by the Engineers Australia. So this is offered in these 5 specializations: chemical, civil, electrical, materials, and mechanical. As you can see, this sort of goes back to the traditional engineering areas, mainly because these, when it comes to accredited degrees, they are offered in the sort of the traditional kind of sense of the engineering area. So that's why these specializations are offered under this masters. So on top of that, what we have is that the learning support can be provided in multiple ways. One of the things we have, the graduate student lounge. So there is a specific lounge that we provide to master students. That is a facility dedicated for you to come and use, just to have your lunch and to connect with your peers. And there are also sessions organized through that one. Pranil, have you had a chance to go to this master's lounge?
I have, yes.
Yeah. How did you feel about that?
No, I think it's a good space. Often, just a place to sit down or a table, maybe to put your laptop on and work.
And also it has some of the
and the kitchen
facilities people want to use it for. Yeah. Okay. And then we have the other session where you can drop in and ask questions from the demonstrators or mentors. So that FAME program is specifically for that. And we also have the PASS program, which is essentially getting support from your peers. Your peers come together and we identify your peers from, let's say, if they have done the subject previously, now they're sort of one semester up. We will identify these people who have done well in those units, and they will be your supporters in this PASS program. And specifically for women, we have a Women in Engineering mentoring program as well, bringing in support from the senior students in this case, and also the staff. And the math support is provided for those people who have difficulties with mathematics. So there is a specific space for that. And we have the MESS program. MESS is the student club, if you want, Monash Indian Student Society. They organize a lot of activities for students on their own. So this is managed completely by students for the overall part. This MOVE, Monash Virtual Environment, it is a space where software could be accessed through your website. So you go to a website, and through that you connect to this MOVE. So from your home, if you want, you can just go and access a certain software. And that software, you can work on it rather than coming to the university or something. So essentially coming to a specific lab or go in work in a specific lab. Even with your laptop, you can connect and get the things done using this environment. So that is one of the other facility that is available. So what do you need to get into our program? From your bachelor degree, we expect a 65% in general. And as I said, depending on which master program you want to go to, the exact requirement might vary. Some of them might require a 4-year engineering degree honors. Some of them could be 3 years. Some of them is Bachelor of Science and so on and so forth. I briefly touched on that. But then this is the overall kind of score. And then also the English language requirement is something that you need to satisfy as well on top of the bachelor score level so that you can enter these master programs. So employability part of it, obviously this is showing one of our alumnus, Emily Chia. So she's an associate customer engineer with Google. And the sort of salary range could be vary based on that. But then for our graduates, after they complete masters, within Australia, when they get a degree, they can get into a salary range of this, 100 to 120K range. And different areas they can work on. So here that shows these different engineering fields like aeronautical, biomedical, chemical, civil, electrical, environmental, materials, mechanical, and software engineering. And if you go in industrial engineering, the expectation seems to be predominantly from robotics and mechatronics. So this gives you an idea about the areas that you can work on. But one of the key part here is these are shortage areas within the Australian space. So what that means is that if it is a skills priority, these can also be used by you to apply for permanent residency if you are sort of an international student. So this is one of the areas that will help you to go and get that PR if you want. So just to give an idea about Melbourne, Melbourne is a very big metropolitan city, very multicultural, and also one of the area Monash University is situated in, it is Clayton. And if you just go out of Clayton and just go around here, the Dandenong and some of the other surrounding areas, that area is very, very multicultural. And you will see so many different, based on your cultural background and so on, you will see different restaurants and facilities, worshipping places and so on around this area. So that gives you like a homely feeling. So food-wise, I'm sure you'll be very much covered, but Melbourne is also known as the sporting capital within Australia. And there are so many different events that happen here. So this is home to MCG and the Australian Open and so on and so forth. So essentially, and also if you want to say the footy capital within Australia, but if you come here, you'll get used to some of these things. So once again, Melbourne provides you that vibrant, multicultural and metropolitan environment. And also around Clayton, you can get that feel very well as well. Okay, so we talked about multiple parts within this presentation. We talked about the different choice of study programs that you can go into, how these programs help you to connect with the industry, and what kind of employment opportunities they can open. And all of these were highlighted through these master options offered by Monash University, Monash Engineering here. So we welcome you to ask questions and also welcome you to apply as well after getting more information.